Hi everybody, Dan Illman taking a look at race number 6 at Keeneland on Saturday. It's the Grade 2 Woodford Stakes for turf sprinters. I want to remind DRF Bets members to get involved in the Weekend Warrior Bonus Series at Keeneland. Bet $25 to win on race number 1 at Keeneland on Saturday and or Sunday throughout the meet. Earn up to a $70 bonus credit to be used Breeders' Cup weekend. DRF.com/warrior is where you need to go for all of the details. Here's the field for the Grade 2 Woodford. Might be a really important prep race for the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint this year, carded as race number 6. It kicks off a $250,000 guaranteed pick 5 at Keeneland on Saturday. We've got a big field. Let's talk about these horses in post-position order, beginning with the speedy number 1. That's Done Deal at 15-1. Done Deal comes out of a 6.5 furlong race at Kentucky Downs, and that distance and that course I think was just too testing for Done Deal. He showed his customary early speed, took over with 2 furlongs to run, had a clear advantage at the 3/16 pole, and just ran out of gas late. 6.5 is too far for Done Deal, but you look at his prior turf sprints at shorter distances, they are speedy, they are good, and they got Done Deal into the winner's circle both times. He is the inside speed, and I expect Chris Landeros to be on a dead scent. This horse is pretty good, and at 15-1 on the morning line, he's a horse I would certainly consider using in any kind of multiple race wagers, like that $250,000 guaranteed pick 5. The number 2 is Buchero, who won this race last year and then was only beaten a length in the Breeders' Cup turf sprint. He's earned over $800,000 in his career, and the last time he ran at Keeneland, he ran really well when finishing second in the Shakertown Stakes. Obviously, he has an affinity for this course. In that Shakertown, he was down inside, bottled up a bit, and once they turned into the stretch, the winner Bound for Nowhere, who's going to be a strong contender in Saturday's main event, the Grade 1 Shadwell Turf Mile, was just long gone. Buchero didn't change leads in the stretch that day, but that's him. He usually does that. He's making his second start coming back from Royal Ascot after being compromised by a lack of pace in the Turf Monster at Parks last time out. He's a very logical contender, 5-1 on the morning line, and he handles a little bit of give in the ground as well. We're expecting some rain at Keeneland on Saturday. The number 3 is Kid Perfect, and Kid Perfect has been nibbling as of late. Third behind Will Call and Angston when dangled for an $80,000 optional claiming tag in his most recent start. This 4-year-old gelding has got a little bit of speed. He's not exactly a burner, and what I've actually liked about this horse is that they've taught him to rate and finish, as we saw 3 starts back when second in the Grade 3 turf sprint at Churchill Downs. He's a solid runner. He's run well on off turf in the past. I'm not sure if he really classes up with some of the other horses in this race, some of the big names, but he's a horse that you could certainly use underneath in single race exotics. The number 4 is Extravagant Kid, and I think trainer Brendan Walsh is getting Extravagant Kid back into his best form. He scored last time out over Good Going in the Lucky Coin Stakes at Saratoga. Now, he had an assist when the speed didn't break. And when the speed didn't break, Extravagant Kid, a horse that can stalk, a horse that can lead, went up to set the pace. Pocket Change, the even money favorite, pressed him on the turn, but Extravagant Kid was just too much for that horse in the lane, and he was able to draw off and win by a half length. Third start of the form cycle for Brendan Walsh, good tactical speed, can run on off turf. I think Extravagant Kid is a major player here under Corey Lannery. We'll move on to Holding Gold, and Holding Gold is a horse that handles Keeneland. He won the Shakertown back in April of 2017, coming from off the pace, and he beat a very good field. Green Mask and Hoagie, 2 of the best turf sprinters at that point in time. I think Holding Gold might be going a little bit off form. His Beyer speed figures in his last 2 races, not great. Coincidentally, perhaps those races came because they were on off-going. Yielding soft turf in his last 2 races. I don't think he likes giving the ground. If he gets it on Saturday, you might want to downgrade his chances. If the course comes up firm, you might want to upgrade his chances. Last time in against Mr. Haverkamp, who came back to finish second in the Woodbine Mile with a 100 Beyer speed figure. Give Holding Gold some pace. He'll come with a late run. Will he get enough pace? Let's consult the Timeform US pace projector. No red bar. We think that this pace might be fair. I think this pace is going to be a little bit quicker than anticipated. Yes, the number 6 Rocket Heat is fast, and he was that aforementioned speed that missed the break in the lucky coin, and that helped Extravagant Kid out. With a good start, Rocket Heat is going to go to the lead, but I find it hard to believe that the number 1 isn't going to be too far behind. I think Done Deal has one way to go from the rail, and I think there's a good chance that the 1 and the 6 could hook up. That puts Buchero the 2, Extravagant Kid the 4 in the catbird seat just off the pace. Getting back to Rocket Heat, a big win 2 starts back over Good Going, but claimed away from Carlos Martin. Michael Tenuzzo is a good young trainer. I believe he was a former assistant to Bruce Levine in New York, and the Lucky Coin Stakes is just a throwout because he didn't make the break at all, and he is a one-way speed. If he gets this kind of scenario, he could easily win this race. He's 18 of 35 in the exact in his career. I just think Done Deal might push him a little bit harder early. The number 7 is Win Lion Win, coming off of a win at Evangeline Downs, going 5 furlongs. It was an optional $30,000 race. This Louisiana bred is in good form. The connections are taking a shot. I just wonder if maybe, just maybe, he'll be outpaced in the early portion of this race. 50-1 on the morning line. James Graham gets the call as he steps up in class. I think the number 8 Undrafted at 8 years old can still run, and at 10-1 is value. He's banked $1.5 million in his career. He has obviously run well at Keeneland in the past. His last 2 stateside races have been good. Heck, his last 3 have all been good. You have to go back to November of 2017. Let's concentrate on his 2018 form. He made his seasonal debut in the elusive Quality Stakes. Joel Rosario just took him way to the back of the pack. He split horses on the turn. Then he had to go wide turning into the stretch, and he didn't catch the gate-to-wire winner Blind Ambition, who controlled a rated pace. He was up against it from a race flow and trip standpoint that day. And last time out in the Kentucky Downs Turf Sprint, in his first start since returning from an unsuccessful foray to Royal Ascot, he came 5 wide turning into that long Kentucky Downs straight, and he only got beat 3/4 of a length by Pro Forma, who skimmed the rail. Ground loss might have told the tale that day with Undrafted. Undrafted, we know, likes to come from mid-pack or further behind. He's going to need some pace, but I still think there's some life in the old boy yet. Maybe not the 100 buyer life that we saw when he was second to the Turf Sprint to Churchill Downs in 2015 or the Shakertown in 2016, but I think he'll give a good account of himself, and he should be used in this spot. Michael Maker is just a savant with these kind of horses, like Vici, other horses in the past that he's claimed, Hoagie, longer distance horses that were cast-offs from other trainers. He claims them, he turns them into stakes horses. He took Vici for 62.5 back in June. This horse got beat a half length last time out in the Kentucky Downs Turf Sprint. But while Undrafted came so wide turning into the stretch, Vici, I thought, had a good trip. He saved ground on the backstretch and on the big turn. He tried to split horses 2 furlongs out, and he ran okay, a 93 buyer speed figure. He has good tactical speed. Maybe getting back to a more conventional track will help Vici, but he's the kind of horse that nibbles. 15 times second or third out of 28 lifetime starts. The number 10 Will Call is a horse you really want to consider for a high percentage trainer in Brad Cox. He had no chance last time out at Ellis Park, going 5.5 furlongs when he got bounced off stride. His 2 prior races, fast enough to win this. 95, 97, the second 97 buyer coming in a graded stakes race. Interesting that he didn't run well in the Shakertown, his only start at Keeneland, and that came over soft turf. Some horses just don't handle Keeneland, whether it's firm or soft. I wonder if that combination really works against Will Call, so check out the turf condition before deciding whether to back this very consistent colt. 4-1 on the morning line seems a little bit light. The 11 Anguston is a 3-year-old taking on older horses. He won at Kentucky Downs going 6.5 furlongs. He gave Will Call all he could handle. 3 starts back at Churchill Downs over Good Going. He's a horse that's going to probably come with a run. I think he's a little slow other than that 93 buyer 2 starts back when he was beaten by Extravagant Kid, but he is a 3-year-old with some upside potential. Machismo completes this field. This is a horse that hasn't run on turf since August of 2017 when he was trained by Todd Pletcher. He was the beaten favorite that day in a pretty live race. The runner-up came back to win with an 82 buyer speed figure. He got back to his winning ways last time out on dirt at Thistledown. This barn does not do well with this sort of move, but this horse is 50-1 on the morning line. So the formulator fact that you're about to see, don't let it dissuade you if you like Machismo. 0 for 37 dirt to turf. The outside post, tough to win at Keeneland from post 12. We'll see what we get switching back to the turf. Taking a look at my top pick in here, I think Extravagant Kid is going to trip out. I'm expecting the 1 and the 6 to go to the lead. I think Extravagant Kid, the 4, Buchero, the 2, are going to sit just in behind. And I think Extravagant Kid is going to get the run, the first run on the closers, turning into the stretch. I'm going to go 4, 9, 1, and 8 in the Grade 2 Woodford, kicking off the $250,000 guaranteed pick 5 at Keeneland on Saturday. DRF Bets members, play the Weekend Warrior bonus. Earn up to a $70 bonus to be used on Breeders' Cup weekend, and it's simple. Bet $25 to win on race number 1 at Keeneland each Saturday and Sunday, and win or lose, you get a $10 credit, earning up to a $70 bonus come BC weekend. DRF.com/warrior is where you get all the details. Approximate post time for the Grade 2 Woodford, 3:30 Eastern. Good luck.